2018?
It's in the last page.
And
Wait.
I thought I was high enough.
No, you got my cord.
I will stand still.
Okay, you're good.
There we go.
Okay.
Say anything embarrassing, we're being recorded.
And the standard call, those who wish are invited to enjoy pledge of allegiance.
Say,
And pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
thank you. And I will call the work agenda to order. Those of you who looked at the public notice, this is for a public hearing at 6 p.m. to receive public input on the presentation of the approved Budget Committee 2018-2019 Milton School District budget, its warrant articles and bonds. The reason we called the Budget Committee itself to order is just to make sure that any details that might have changed in the presentation of the school district could be addressed and put into place so that everything was ready for the public hearing. The other thing, and I'll leave that to Bob Carrier to address, we ourselves made some small miscalculations when we were going over the final budget number for the town. Tom, you might want to speak to that.
Basically, there was a math error in the formula that we were using. We were keeping a running total as the meeting went on for the changes, and there was an error in the formula. We totaled up the entire row or entire column, and part of what the column contained was the year 2018. And so when we tried to reconcile the numbers that we had versus numbers that were in the computer, we were off, and it was quite challenging to find. So, and there was also a couple other transcription errors that made it even more difficult, especially when you look at PDF versus something on a computer. So I came in, helped them, we figured it out, and we have a new number.
Okay.
Which is less than the old number, by the way.
Yeah.
You have one.
Bob Carrier.
Okay, what I've done, what you see here, I made a copy for everybody. What you see in the blue is what I took from the column all the way through to see they would match the numbers that were given on the very right side to make sure they match. I went through the meeting minutes of our secretary and the ones for the town, and they all match. So I went down to get them individually. Then I went on the other column where it's in red, and the number I'm getting is $4,508,365.48.
Can you repeat that, Bob, please?
$4,508,365.48.
Have the Board of Selectmen motioned and voted on that number?
Not on that number. They voted on the one on the top of that one. They did the $508,115.48. The thing they did not figure in is that the Recreation Department, there was $250 taken out. That motion passed, but when they went to the number to approve that number that they come out with, it failed. So the third motion came out, and it went back to the original number. I have the meeting minutes of December 4th. Mine corresponds with the Secretary of the Town. That's why this number is, instead of 115, it's 365.
So are we making a motion to make this our number? Because it is our number that goes on the ballot.
Right.
So is that what we're doing?
Read off the number in blue in the final bottom right-hand corner is the corrected number as noted by Tom for the areas that he found. And I think I remember you just said that the year of 2018 got added into the budget by accident because it was just one more number.
That is correct.
And then the other point would be the $250 for the rec department, which was motion to remove and then failed, and motion to be put back in. And on that basis, the number of $4,508,365.48 should be the bottom line budget.
It is, Mr. Chairman. I went through both columns. I went through 2 sets of minutes, and the numbers are all correct.
Then, in the 7 minutes that we have left, would you, I think the motion should be something like, I move to correct inadvertent math errors in the calculation of the town 2018 budget, that the budget committee number B of $4,508,365.48.
Correct.
Would you make that motion?
I think you just
As
did.
said. Okay, I'll make the motion. Would you do the second?
All right, I'll do the second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that the budget committee number, which will be the official budget going forward to the deliberative session, be set at $4,508,365.48. Any further discussion? Tom?
I just want to make sure I understand the difference. It's in the recreation line, and it's you're saying that we incorrectly recorded the voted on number for mileage and travel. Is that correct?
What it is, there was a motion.
Yeah, what I mean is that when we came up with the numbers on the spreadsheet, it was incorrectly recorded that it had passed and it really hadn't. So we took out 215. You're saying the minutes do not reflect that it should have stayed at 1,000.
The second motion carried to put it back in.
To put it back in.
The
The
third
first
motion.
motion
Okay.
failed,
Okay.
and so the second motion was permissible.
Okay.
and that-
Okay, I just want to make sure that I understand, in case anybody asks, how can I necessarily not be a made up number?
Just to be
That
clear,
the
yeah.
motion was incorrectly recorded, the numbers resulting out of all the motions was incorrectly recorded. And you going through the minutes is how you figured it out.
Right.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
then the other
Okay.
thing to mention is that Sean has advised us that Dennis will not be here. And the other thing I forgot to do was just to introduce the members of the board and our secretary, starting from my left.
Sherry Gazer,
Sean Perot.
Peg Hurd, school board rep.
Bob Carrier.
Larry Brown,
Aaron Hunting.
Stan Nato.
Thomas McDougal.
and partially in camera range from my right, beginning with the superintendent.
Earl Sussman, school superintendent.
Ricky Castle, financial manager.
Doug Shute, school board.
Melissa Brown, school board. Laura Noseworthy, school board.
Andrew Ross and Selectmen's rep.
Danielle
Oh.
Wright, recording clerk.
Andy, you should be up here if you so wish.
Yeah, I know, you got a full house. I'll participate.
Oh, good. Then I do not have to make a point of getting this information back to the selectmen.
There you go.
And so I didn't see you out there.
Yeah,
And we have two civilians in the front row.
I'm Mark Gazer, visiting.
Oh, and
Timothy Long, visiting.
visiting. Thank you. So, that completes the work that the,
Yeah, we have to vote on it.
that, for my errors in not introducing people, the motion is on the floor.
So I have a quick question,
Yes,
actually.
Sean.
So this is a motion to accept this number as our final budget?
As the final budget, that will be the official budget that goes forward to the deliberative session.
Okay.
From my left.
Can you pass for a second? Thinking about this number. I'm gonna pass for a second.
Oh, okay. Then let's start from the other end. Tom McDougal.
Yes.
Stan.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Bob Carrier.
Yes.
No.
And the chair votes yes.
Andy.
And the selectmen's rep?
I'm sorry, I was I was talking to Marie.
That's why we need you up front here, and we're gonna keep you
Miss,
focused.
Marie, I apologize about this figure. Yes, I do accept that figure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that would be we have 8,
2 to 6.
board of 8, 2 noes, 6 in favor. The new budget number will go forward to the deliberative session. Then, it being 6 o'clock,
They also have to vote on that number.
are you,
I can't, they're not in session.
You're right.
the-
Well, that's the thing, we've already, that's what I was talking to Danielle, we've already voted, did we vote on this number?
Not that number.
Okay,
On there.
then what I'll do is I'll open up a Board of Selectmen's meeting,
This is
and,
posted?
what's that? Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay,
Absolutely, it's posted.
that-
So I'll open up a Board of Selectmen's
one
meeting.
moment.
I'm
I
sorry.
will open the public hearing on the school district budget and recess it temporarily.
Okay, yep, that's fine.
And so you're up for the selectmen.
Oh, am I all set?
You're all set. You can call yourselves to order, take a vote of
Okay.
agreement, and then I'll go back to the public hearing and we'll discuss the school district issues.
Okay, yep, so I'll open up a Board of Selectmen's meeting at 6:05. All in favor?
Aye.
So, you have it? Right. Okay. So we'll vote on, is it on that number? Yeah. So are you fine with that?
Yep.
That's the number. Are you all set with that, Tim?
Yes.
On the bottom? So I'll make a motion to accept the new budget number as $4,508,365.48.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for your help.
Thank you.
Just, then, we'll move back to the public hearing. The video is up and running. I will read off the public notice, which is, notice is hereby given that the Milton Budget Committee will hold a public hearing on Thursday, January 11, 2018 at 6 p.m. at the Milton Town Hall, Selectmen's Chambers, 424 White Mountain Highway, Milton, New Hampshire. The purpose of the public hearing is to receive public input on the presentation of the approved Budget Committee's 2018-2019 Milton School District budget on warrant articles and bonds notes to exceed $100,000 and any other business that may come before the Budget Committee. The snow date will be Friday, January 12th. Beautiful weather, we will not need that same time at Milton Town Hall. Okay, that opens the public hearing, and the structure of that is to receive from the public any questions or comments that they may have on any part of the school district budget. What I do not have in front of me is the copy of that budget and warrants, so that I can refer to it. Okay, there it goes. All right. Then, thank you. I should have picked up my own copy. For people who are at home, I will read off the school warrant. State of New Hampshire, to the inhabitants of the school district in the town of Milton, New Hampshire, qualified to vote in district affairs. You are hereby notified of the following annual school district meeting schedule. And this will be for the school district deliberative session, which will be coming up. First session of annual meeting, deliberative. You are hereby notified to meet at the Mead High School and Library Cafeteria in said district on Saturday, the 10th of February 2018 at 1 p.m. with a snow date of Monday, the 12th day of February 2018 at 6 p.m. This session shall consist of explanation, discussion, and debate of warrant articles numbered 2 through 9. Warrant articles may be amended subject to the following limitations. A, warrant articles whose wording is prescribed by law shall not be amended. B, warrant articles that are amended shall be placed on the official ballot for a final vote on the main motion as amended. And C, no warrant article shall be amended to eliminate the subject matter of the article. The second session of the official ballot voting, you are hereby notified to meet at the Assembly of God Church, Milton, New Hampshire, on Tuesday, March 23rd, 2018, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. to vote by official ballot on warrant articles numbered 1 through 9. I will read.
I'm sorry, it's the 13th, not the 23rd.
I'm sorry, 13th. Thank you.
Yes, just so that people know.
Error. On March 13th, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. to vote by official ballot on warrant articles numbered 1 through 9. Article 1. This is the election of officers voting by official ballot on March 13th, 2018. To choose the following school district officers. A, to choose a moderator for the ensuing year. B, to choose a clerk for the ensuing year. C, to choose 2 school board members for the ensuing 3 years. D, to choose 2 school board members for the ensuing 1 year. And E, to choose a treasurer for the ensuing year. That is the legal background for what will be happening after the deliberative and voting session. Article 2 is the meat of the school district budget. And Article 2, shall the Milton School District vote to raise and appropriate as an operating budget, not including appropriations by special warrant articles and other appropriations voted separately, the amount set forth on the budget posted with the warrant, or as amended by vote of the first session, for the purpose set forth therein, totaling $10,328,546.92. Should this article be defeated?
Larry, excuse me, there was an amendment to that. The final figure was Nate.
I'm working from.
Did we correct it, Nate?
Yeah.
To what? What's the final figure?
The final figures on the board voted.
I know, and it's not what was in the warrant article that he's reading from.
That's.
Is that the one I gave you?
Yeah, you've got the right number.
Okay, this is an old one, I gave you.
Yes, okay.
Okay, why
Let's
was
do it
it?
again.
You've got a good one, all right.
I'm sorry, Larry.
Just tear up that old one.
Where is your
There we go.
Okay.
Those mine? Yeah.
Thank you.
Mine.
If you were watching, you have just seen why it is useful to have the school district and the budget committee, people of their differing viewpoints and ability to see what has been done from one day to the other. My apologies, I was working from an old copy. This is the new copy. We are down to the amount set forth on the budget posted with the warrant or as amended by vote of the first session for the purposes set forth therein, totaling $10,292,940.80. We are in agreement? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peg. Should this article be defeated, the default budget shall be $10,531,780.62, which is the same as last year, with certain adjustments required by previous action of the Milton School District or by law or the governing body may hold one special meeting in accordance with RSA 40:13, Roman 10, and Roman XVI, to take up the issue of the revised operating budget only. Note, warrant Article 2, the operating budget, does not include appropriations in any other warrant article. The total operating budget will be offset by federal grant revenues of $355,618, leaving a net budget amount of $9,937,322.80. RSA, under the authority of RSA 32:5, Roman 3. The amount of $355,618 will not be raised by taxation. The school board recommended the appropriation, 3-1. The 3-0. I get that stigmatism. The budget committee recommends the appropriation 9-0. Discussion from any member of the public on the material of Article 2 presented at this time. Second call. Third call. There being no further discussion on Article 1, we'll move to a discussion of Article 3, which is, shall the Milton School District vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $5,000 to purchase library media for the new high school and library? This is a special warrant article. It is recommended by the school board, a vote of 5-0, and recommended by the budget committee on a vote of 9-0. Is there any discussion, question, or comment from the audience? Would the school district like to speak briefly describing the history of this Article 3? Once?
Larry would do this one every year for the library, the $5,000. One year we did forget, and we apologized for that.
Okay. Then, one more opportunity for public comment. Moving on to Article 4. Shall the Milton School District vote to raise and appropriate up to the sum of $50,000 to be placed in the expendable trust fund for the education of educationally disabled children established in 2011, with such amount to be funded from the June 30th, 2018 unreserved fund balance, parenthesis, surplus, available on July 1st, 2018. Any question, comment, observation from the public? Hearing none. Would the school district like to explain the order of selection for warrants like Article 4, which is for...
There is assuredly a need, as was discussed in the committee, did a very nice job, the school board and the group itself. When we met, the committee could see the budget. The committee could see that there are need students that occur. There's IEP meetings that are held. There's needs that students rise, and there's people that move into the district that you don't anticipate.
Thank you. The note on Article 4 says the amount of $50,000 in warrant Article 4 will not result in additional taxation. The school board recommended that appropriation 5-0, and the budget committee recommended that appropriation 9-0. Article 5, shall the Milton School District vote to raise and appropriate up to the sum of $50,000 to be placed in the Milton School District Building Maintenance Repair, Renovation and Capital Project Reserve Fund, established in 2005 for the purpose of repairing and maintaining school buildings, with such amount to be funded from the June 30th, 2018 unreserved fund balance surplus available on July 1st, 2018. Note, the amount of $50,000 in warrant 5 will not result in additional taxation. It was recommended by the school board on a vote of 5-0 and by the budget committee on a vote of 9-0. Any comment further on that? Okay. Article 6. Shall the Milton School District vote to raise and appropriate up to the sum of $31,607.28 for the purpose of purchasing updated accounting software, with such amount to be funded from the June 30th, 2018 unreserved fund balance, the surplus, available on July 1st, 2018. Note on Article 6, the current accounting software is 13 years old and is being phased out by the developers. The amount of $31,607.28 will not result in additional taxation. School board recommended the appropriation 5-0. Budget committee recommended the appropriation 9-0. Is there any member of the public who would like to make a comment, question, observation on this Article 6, the purchase of updated accounting software? Hearing none. Article 7. Shall the Milton School District vote to raise and appropriate up to the sum of $25,000 to be placed in the Milton School District Technology Expendable Trust Fund, established in 2007, with such amount to be funded from June 30th, 2018 unreserved fund balance, the surplus, available on July 1st, 2018. Note, the amount of $25,000 in warrant number 7 will not result in additional taxation. The school board recommends that appropriation 5-0. The budget committee recommended it 9-0. Any comment from the public? To Article 8, which is, shall the Milton School District vote to raise and appropriate up to the sum of $15,000 to be placed in the expendable trust fund for the school bus trust fund established in 1993, with such amount to be funded from June 30th, 2018, unreserved fund balance, the surplus, available on July 1st, 2018. Note to Article 8, the amount of $15,000 in warrant Article 8 will not result in additional taxation. The school board recommends the appropriation 5-0. The budget committee recommended the appropriation 9-0. That brings us to the last page of the school warrant and budget, which is Article 9. Shall the Milton School District vote to change the name and purpose of the expendable trust fund, currently named Milton School District School Bus Trust Fund, to the name Milton School District Vehicle Trust Fund, for the purpose of acquiring and maintaining all school district vehicles, including but not limited to school buses and tractors and maintenance vehicles. A 2/3 vote was required on that. The school board recommended the article 3-0. I don't see from
We don't vote on it.
from this is one where it's internal, it's just changing the name and purpose, and that's their purview entirely. There is no recommendation by statute from us. Is there anyone from the public who would like to comment on Article 9? Anyone from the school district in particular? If superintendent or Doug or our own rep?
Of course.
The order of selection for the warrants, beginning where they're being taken out of the any surplus available. Peg, did you want to speak to that?
I'm just wondering, and I'm going to ask this question. Under the Article 9, it says note 2/3 vote required. Would that be of the voting public?
That would be
Okay, thank you. So
That
it
would
has
be at
nothing to
the,
do with us. All right.
in March.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to clarify that one. Thank you.
Then. I will put the question out to the superintendent or anyone. My understanding has always been that when you look at Article 4, which is the expendable trust for the education of disabled children, or Article 6, accounting software, that the article which comes first is the one that has priority for the surplus funds. And if there are not enough surplus funds to cover 4 through 8, only 4, 5, or 6, or whatever the dollar amount is would be used, correct?
Yes, the board gave that significant thought, and obviously, as we discussed, and I said before, there's dramatic need as far as number 4 is concerned in terms of the dramatic costs that students have and the great need there. So that became number 1 for sure.
Then, when I first came to the district, to Milton in '95, the town meeting was greatly attended and considerable lively discussion took place. We are here tonight for the public presentation of a substantial budget of $9.5 million and rising. And the people here are those who've come out as volunteers to serve the town. That is disturbing, that there are not enough people to want to know how money is created and how it is being allocated to be spent. And I will get on a very quick soapbox and thank the people who have done that work here in this room, people who I disagree with, whose opinion I respect, who asks wonderful questions and always works for the best budget there. Off the soapbox. What is the pleasure of the committee? Is there any discussion you would like to have yourselves? We have the authority of the meeting. Any comments that the any other members of the school board or the selectmen who are a solid participating public themselves? In the absence of that, I will thank you for the paper that you put together. I apologize for getting an old copy. We have killed many trees, some of them for good effort. I will then close the public hearing on the Milton School District budget. That brings us back to the purpose of the meeting that we started at 5:45. Is the Budget Committee have any comments, thoughts, recommendations, what you would like to do next? We will be doing this again next week, same process, meeting 15 minutes before the public hearing, just to make sure details of paperwork can be.
Well, we're gonna do the warrant articles for the town tonight,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, that's the,
We have the
and so that ends the public hearing, and any discussion that the budget committee wants to have, just to wrap that up. That brings us back to the town warrants. And do you have the town warrants, Bob?
No, I don't. She's going, I believe Danielle's going to
Oh,
get them.
okay.
I didn't get them in the
There will
email.
be a brief pause while
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, do you mind if the Board of Selectmen vote on one warrant article that we didn't vote on during our select?
absolutely, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the warrant article is number 14. It's the eradicate the European naiad. It's to see if the town will vote to raise the appropriate of the sum of $5,000 for the purpose of eradicating the invasive plant species, European naiad, from the water bodies of the town of Milton. This is a special warrant article. This sum is to come from the fund balance, and no amount is to be raised by taxation. So I just need a motion.
Yep, so, just a quick comment before I make a motion. The reason we didn't vote on this was because we were talking about rewording it so it would roll over to the next year, but due to time constraints and the importance of this warrant article, we want to, or I'm gonna make a motion to accept the warrant article as written, and we'll look into changing that next year.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Chair.
Oh, thank you for the, so we will, Danielle is getting a copy of,
I believe she is.
of the warrants. We're in just waiting mode. I don't think we'll, this is necessary. Side comment from the school board meeting last night. Did you give Nate permission to leave? There was a discussion last night, we weren't on camera, whether Melissa Jean had permission from Nate to leave, so I was checking that things were being done fairly. Hear the whirring of the little machine.
Did she say she was gonna do them?
Andy, were they supposed to, those warrant articles, were they supposed to be sent out to us in advance? So I know you had the meeting Monday, but
Well, unfortunately, I think there was some misunderstanding between personnel. So
Okay,
if there was, I apologize.
if they would have sent it to us, I could have hit a copy
Yeah.
real quick.
No, I think there was just some misunderstanding, unfortunately, but she'll have them momentarily.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask the Board of Selectmen a question, where they're in session, they can discuss this. On Monday's meeting, you voted to accept the donation of a police dog.
Yes.
Where in the budget is all the funds gonna come for the training, the veterinarian, and the food, and everything that goes along with it? Where's that gonna come from now?
Well, the chief is, he's confident that, he, you know, what little bit that he needs this year, he'll be able to find in his budget, and,
Well, it's not a little bit. I know another town that ceased doing it because it was so costly.
well, he's confident that he has it with no issues. I asked him, and he's confident, so it's really, I gotta go with his recommendation, so.
He will actually be providing the food himself personally. The town will not be buying the food for the dog.
The vet bills are quite costly,
Yeah,
and
and he's
all
gonna
the
be
training.
he's gonna be the handler of it.
Well, usually the chief is,
Of the dog, not necessarily.
well, in small towns, but
And where he's salary, there'll be no,
for the training.
training and
But
stuff.
is there a cost for the training course for the dog?
I'm not gonna even fabricate anything, I don't know. But he's confident that he has it in his budget, and I think it's an excellent addition to
I'm not saying it isn't, I'm questioning that we're told that the budget's so tight, but where's the money coming from to support it? That's what I'm questioning, without these questions being asked the other night. That's what I'm disappointed at, that, you know, the questions I had should have been asked by someone on the board. I mean, it should have been something someone should have thought of, that's all.
well, we've talked about it already,
Yeah.
so, but thanks for bringing it up.
I have a question kind of related to that. Will there be like a special line item for any sort of costs associated with the?
Yeah, I think moving forward, they will be, you know, coming down the pike, but right now, he's confident that he's all set this year. So,
Okay.
without fitting his cruiser and so forth.
Right,
This
right.
is really preliminary right now. The dog is, it's, you know, just gonna start its training. It's passing tests, he told me, so, he's excited to get on board with the new adventure,
Okay.
so.
It's a pity that it's a Dutch Shepherd rather than an Irish Shepherd. Because if it were an Irish Shepherd, all you would have to do is just put another potato in the pot. And it would not be that much of a cost.
Right.
But I imagine that the large, he already has, what, he has two
Yeah, I
dogs.
agree.
Yeah, he has a couple of
Yeah. So
shepherds.
they'll just throw another pound of kibble in the bowl.
I forget what country it is, that they exclusively use Dutch Shepherds. That's all they use. I think it's, I don't wanna say Norway or something, but
Holland?
I'm sorry?
Holland?
I don't know if that's Holland.
Sorry.
Because they speak the language, is that why?
So the reasoning of the dog capabilities over the other brands, and I have a regular German Shepherd, so I'm not, you know, but they think the Dutch Shepherds are a premier police dog. Let's put it that way.
The Dutch Shepherds, pardon my French, if anybody knows, it's not Chin, but Beauvoir de Flanders is the name, and they were used for Red Cross Hospital and war courier dogs in World War I. They have a very stable temperament.
Would you say that name again?
De Flanders.
I just told him that.
My dog's father was a police dog, and he had to speak German to him.
Achtung.
No, Seats, Platz, 9.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff, just dogs that do that. Because they
Children, dogs, are like babies. Once they figure out that the
I have a friend whose husband is a horseman.
you speak another language to them, and it's tuned out.
Well, that's, I said, my dog's father is no longer on the face of this earth. He came right from Germany as a puppy, and you had to speak German to him.
And I'm a big dog person. Huge dog person.
That's
I have two dogs. I'm fine with dogs. Very costly.
I don't know, I think I'm the same no matter what language. Loud.
One's like a pit bull mix.
There are
Black retrievers.
That hurt. I was just playing cold.
The truth hurts.
I was just playing cold.
Aaron was unkind.
Yeah.
What'd you do? Were you being fresh? Were you being fresh?
Furniture.
Really? One more thing, water district, Monday we'll be done with our budget, we wanna set a date to come into the budget committee, we can do that? No, well, I don't think we should wait till March, but because, you know, it'd be nice to have this board, because,
I had some board accounts, I didn't have the manual on me, but
What's our,
Yeah.
Whatever you wanna do. We're gonna have it that much.
February 13th, and that's what you want. So there's
Whatever the board chooses. Doesn't
now
matter.
look at the window because she's
Or we can go later.
Go to our regular meeting, because we don't know if this road being used by someone else, right?
I wish I could.
No, the 20th.
Yeah.
So you wanna make it the 20th?
yeah,
February 20th.
All right, so we'll have the water district budget presented to the board, the budget committee on February 20th.
Okay, yeah. You get that, Sherry?
Yep, February 20th.
What?
that,
Water district,
Tom, were you?
Haven't we already done that?
You're in?
February what?
Sean,
20th, that's our regular.
I'm sorry?
you're,
I'll be around.
Okay.
you're hearing at your end of water district?
February 20th, 6
Approve
p.m.
the minutes while we're waiting?
We're actually gonna see if we could table
Yes.
that again.
Okay,
We haven't had a chance to look at it at all.
well, let's do that now then. Let's make a motion to table.
I'll make a motion to table. I'm sorry.
You already made the motion. need a
Oh, you made the
second.
motion?
Oh, you already, who made the motion?
Okay, I will second that then.
Any discussion? And voice vote, table the minutes.
Aye.
Aye.
What I'm gonna do, Sherry, I changed some lines in here. I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay. Okay, so six
Because
PM budget
While
committee.
we're on topic, there's a few things that doesn't fit right.
All right.
If you can, Bob, send it to
I should send it
Peg
to
and I.
you.
Yeah.
Probably should
Send
just
it
say.
to everybody.
You're the secretary, you can.
Tom, did the speaker, the speakers were.
You had,
I didn't take the time to figure out all the knobs and buttons before the meeting.
Tom, thank you for that wonderful idea for Saturday, the deliberative session.
That makes sense.
I know, I mean, I don't know why nobody else thought about it, but
Somebody else would probably come up with the idea.
a
What's that?
fundraiser for the kids, because we're gonna be there 9 o'clock and then 1
Erin
o'clock.
said she'll cook all kinds of stuff.
She'll bake, I know, all day.
He's just being mean.
Bake stuff that's dairy-free and I'll buy it all.
no, I've got one.
Not the cafeteria, but a
Bake something
fundraiser
dairy-free and
for
I'll buy it all from you.
PTA.
Something dairy-free and I'll buy it all. What? That'll work. I think we're gonna need it. Oh, yeah.
So you heard it, how many dozen cookies and brownies and cupcakes? Erin's gonna be busy cooking.
Oh, I know. We have to have snacks. Didn't anybody tell her? That there's always one volunteer that makes
I'll be in Florida the whole
snacks.
month of, when is it?
For the audience?
That flight is canceled.
Yeah, I heard that too.
It's gonna be
We'll make some jambalaya.
210. 210. You have to have this all cooked at 210.
Recommended that.
And we will be gone, 8 years on.
What meeting, county was that?
School. Well, we'll have an accident, school and town the same day.
The fable good. You were not here.
Well, I was here, but not here.
He was
In the vote. That's
one of the largest.
AEY, okay.
Other business hearing dates right here.
You already put it in.
This is what I have. Right here.
Here's the one I changed.
So this is what you want?
And former.
Yeah. Okay. So public
Mr. McDonald was a real person.
There was a place where it said, oh, there it is right there, the town with the.
And David
January 8th. Okay.
I put January, and the reason we don't have the date
All right, I'll just put this in here. And I'll send it out.
And I cannot do the voice. Larry, watch your house. Figured you know.
Send it to the committee.
Okay.
What I wrote. I want the committee to look at it and see if they can improvise on it.
On the minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to send the minutes once I make this update?
I wrote it up.
Because I mean, I could just cut and paste this, I could take this and just shoot it out. Or I'll just do the whole thing.
So I kind of,
Right.
change some of the words.
January 10th.
Okay, take one and pass the rest to the rear.
11.
Hey,
Ms. Hurd?
Whoop, sorry.
go baby.
Outstanding.
These are really hot.
Their computer went down.
Oh,
You can have mine.
Yeah, you'll need it. Whoop.
that's yours.
This is.
Okay.
That's why I came here, I do work stuff.
Thank you, we are,
Move one.
One more.
Sherry.
the second purpose of tonight's, the special budget committee meeting was to go over the Town of Milton warrants for 2018. And this, there'll be some changes because we have to go back and take into account the vote that the selectmen just did so that we have agreement on a new number for the operating budget when we get down to Article 3. And what I will do is, just for information, this starts out with the same formula as we did for reading out the school district budget, and we will do this formally on next Wednesday. But I just wanted to go through this. It starts out, to the inhabitants of the town of Milton who are notified and warned, first session and second session are blank on this. This is just a working document. Then on the articles, zoning, number 1. And I will, do you wish me to read them out for the time it will take, or do you wish to look at them and what do you
We're
know?
gonna read them out, but we have to motion and vote.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
then I will,
The public will.
I will crank it out and read it again. This would be our recommendation on warrants that the town of Milton will be putting forward for the deliberative and for the voting session, and that we will be reviewing as a public hearing on next Wednesday. So, Article 1.
We can jump 1 and 2, because
Yeah.
that has to do with the planning board with language.
We just do the money articles, that's all we do.
Okay.
Number 3 on.
Number 3, okay. And now, on the operating budget, do you have, I just turned over my papers, and, okay. When we get down to Article 3, I will substitute the new corrected number with the agreement of the selectmen for their earlier vote.
Actually, we already voted on that, so we don't have to address that.
Well, did we vote our recommendation?
Yeah.
Yes,
we did.
yep.
We did,
We
okay,
did.
fine.
What they have to do, they'll have to change it and then redo it.
Then, okay, then for, on your copy, just put an asterisk so you can get the, that.
Change.
Then, okay, Moving along, Article 4. This is highway and road reconstruction, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $290,000 for highway and road reconstruction purposes. Said amount is partially offset by revenues from the highway block grant estimated to be $134,000. This appropriation will be a non-lapsing appropriation per RSA 32:7 Roman 6, and will not lapse until completed or by December 31st, 2019. A majority vote is required. It was recommended by the Board of Selectmen on a vote of
3-0.
3-0, and it's to the discussion of the Budget Committee. What is your pleasure? Do I have a motion to recommend?
Said.
Second.
Okay, a motion to recommend by Stan, second by Peg. Do a roll call from my left, beginning with Sean.
I'm just gonna make a comment that, you know, getting these things literally, 5 minutes before we're voting for them, I'm gonna vote no on all of them. So, be nice to get these with some time to actually review them. No, that is my vote.
Peg.
Yes.
Bob.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Stan. And Tom.
Yes.
The chair votes yes.
Yeah, Mr. Chair?
And you, young man, sitting in the balcony.
Selectman's rep, yes, I'll vote yes.
Okay, that would be 8-1.
No, 7-1.
I'm sorry, and Dennis is not here.
Yep.
Dennis, I think, would have voted with you, Sean.
I think he would have.
That, more of that later. Then, vote is 7-1 by the Budget Committee to approve Article 4. Article 5, lease/purchase fire department pumper. To see if the town will vote to authorize the selectmen to enter into a 10-year lease purchase agreement for the sum of $505,000 for the purpose of leasing a pumper tanker to replace the 1989 pumper for the fire department, as described in the recommended 2018-2023 capital improvement program. The first year's payment will commence in 2019, which is the expiration of the lease on the 2013 pumper, and is estimated to be approximately $61,000. This lease agreement contains an escape clause. Majority vote required at the deliberative session. May I have a motion to recommend Article 5?
I'll make the motion.
All right, and I'll second it.
Recommended, a motion to recommend by Tom, seconded by Peg. Discussion. Stan.
I got a couple problems with this. One, I think the town people need a little break. You know, just can't keep on adding on and adding on. And two, I don't like the approximately 61,000. We should have a number. I mean, the lease company should have been able to give us a number, not approximately. Who's gonna say what approximately is? So.
Any other comment? Peg.
Yeah, just reading through it, it's a 10-year lease, starting when? 2018, so,
2019.
no, I know, but it's recommended in the 218-223. So would they be getting it in 2018? Not until 2019?
It's recommended by the capital improvement program.
Right,
The
but
2018 to 2023 capital improvement program, it's a recommendation of that program.
right, I totally understand that, but when is
They take
the,
possession of it.
Yeah.
yes, when is the pumper coming in?
Like the end of 2000 and, it'd be the end of 2018, the beginning of, it takes about a year to build them.
Okay, so this is, not an additional $61,000 this year.
No,
Well,
But-
yes, it's on this year's ballot, so it has to be raised. in the
I know, that's what I'm
appropriate
wondering.
no, then we're not gonna,
Thank you,
Um,
Stan, I need to know that.
we wouldn't be raising this money, this 61,000, until next year. Because we're gonna pay our last payment on, the last truck that we, have got on a warrant article. That last payment will be coming this year.
For the 2013.
Right.
The question, I'm sorry, Peg, do not mean to.
I just am. I'm looking at it as somebody sitting or standing in a voting booth and not really understanding the whens and the wheres of this. I mean, I understand because I was at the meeting Monday, so this is the second time hearing it. But this is more just, can we go do this because it's in the CIP, but we will not be making any payments until 2019. Because you're right, Stan. I mean, it looks as if it's in this year's warrant article, this year's budget. So is it coming out of this year's? But it's not.
It's not.
And I don't think it's clear in the way the warrant article is written.
Aaron?
Does anyone know what the current payment is on the 2013, the one that's getting ready to expire this year? Do you know what they?
Thank you, Aaron.
I apologize, I just don't have, do you have that?
I believe it's 41,000.
41,000?
I believe it's 41.
Yeah, it just went down, it
Keeps
keeps
going
going down. This is our last year payment on it, so I think it is around 40 grand. But I don't have it.
And what's the buyout price for this?
For this tanker,
Yeah, well, it says lease purchase, so it's a buyout at the end. What do we own it for?
nothing. At the end, it's ours.
I think.
Larry, this was all presented to us at the planning board, I just don't, unfortunately, I don't have those documents with me. Recall off the top of your head?
Yeah, if I were writing this myself, I would use the phrase, for the fire department, parenthesis, as described, in the 2018-2023, rolling 6-year capital improvement program recommendations. So that it would be clear that it refers to a 6-year CIP program. I agree with Aaron that it would be nice to say that this represents a $20,000 hit over the 40 that we're paying now as the old pumper rolls out. So that done. Does that answer any question? Tim Long.
Just one question. We, the selectmen, really didn't realize that we were going to be going over this tonight. We thought we were going to go over it next week. So therefore, we are not prepared to answer the questions.
The public hearing comes next week. This is the, okay.
I mean, that's the reason why I was on the planning board, but I don't have my notes here, so.
Right. Back in October, I personally had a conversation with him. And I said that the budget committee season was starting, that a good amount of the warrant articles were boilerplate, and if and as soon as those numbers were cranked in, it would simplify the rest of the process. For 4 years, the department heads and the selectmen have worked to try to set warrants that will come in at about $500,000 in addition to the operating budget. And the purpose of the CIP with its rolling 6-year projections is to try to balance the taxpayer load, knowing that the department heads and the selectmen and the budget committee input have tried to make things as stable and as useful as possible. I do not like, as Sean said, and as Dennis would say if he was here, the difficulties of dealing with something that, for every good purpose represented, is, I'm sorry, I apologize, I will say it is sloppy work. It puts the budget committee in an awkward position, that we have not done our work, and it does not reflect well on the good efforts and the multiple things that have happened in the structure of the selectmen have. We are where we
Mr. Chair,
are.
if I could just have a rebuttal on that.
No rebuttal is necessary. I'm not trying to criticize you. I'm trying to state where we are for the details of why I want to look at these warrants tonight, which is not a function of the selectmen, which is a function of the work of this committee. If they are...
May I ask a question?
Sure, certainly.
Whom did you request these documents from?
Our last meeting, it was stated that we were gonna have the school public hearing tonight, and we were gonna review the warrant articles. It was also, the remarks was, from the rep from the Board of Selectmen was, that they were gonna go over them Monday, and that they'd be sending right to us, so we'd have them for this meeting, prior to this meeting.
Well, Stan, like I said, we were gonna go over them, but unfortunately, maybe the chair or whoever's in charge of the budget committee should have maybe emailed the town administrator and asked for them.
No.
I don't see that.
What's that?
No,
No. The,
that's absurd.
Well, how else would you get the documents?
You had your meeting last night, you reviewed them, you voted for them, you then tell your assistant or yourself to then push them to the budget committee meeting that you knew was gonna happen this evening.
Gentlemen, okay, what I want to do is get the opinion of the recommendation. Standard joke, my opinion plus $2 will leave you short for coffee at a good restaurant. The budget committee has a bit more statutory opinion than mine. We have the article on the lease pumper. We can move as far as having a...
No, we haven't got a motion yet.
We don't have a motion yet. Then let us have a motion for or against, and then have our discussion.
I'll make a motion to deny.
That
Second.
there is a motion to recommend against
Right.
by Stan.
Second.
And seconded by Sean. Discussion on that motion. Or let me summarize and add anything you want. The 2 points have been raised, that this is time to give the taxpayers a break for the costs of the machine which have been purchased, and it would have been useful to have the documentation that the previous budget item is for about $41,000, and this would be an increase of $20,000. There was also a concern that the wording did not indicate that this would be a 2019 purchase. Okay, any other discussion points on that? Peg?
I guess I just am confused with this because there's a motion and a second to totally deny it. Is there any way
Not to recommend.
to not recommend? Okay, I'm sorry.
The article still goes forward, recommended by the selectmen, and presented to the voters for their approval. They can disregard our recommendation completely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it is only a recommendation.
It'll be on the ballot.
It'll be on the ballot.
Okay, all right, never
In
mind
fact,
then.
There is, again, I want to get the best clarity and useful information to voters, for the
I
work
would
that
too.
the selectmen have done and for our own review. We're gonna be meeting in a week. If the selectmen, again, go back, make detailed changes on Article 5, we're going to be meeting at 5:45 PM exactly for problems like this.
Okay, good, thank you.
So
That's what I was gonna
I
ask.
have no problem with the points that are being raised, and in the back, Ryan,
So I just pulled up the PowerPoint that the planning board was presented on this warrant article. I'll share it with you guys if
please.
That'd be
interested.
awesome.
So the financials on this, total cost, $530,000 to be leased over a period of 7 to 10 years. Final payment on engine 6 is in 2018 of $49,000. The lease payment will range from $50,000 to $85,000 depending on the term and down payment. First payment due 2019. Recommended a 7-year term to keep the rotation of 3 pumpers at the 21-year mark.
Okay.
So, Ryan, just to clarify, did you say it was $530,000?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, because this is 5.
This is 505 on the sheet here.
So that is probably, that was the presentation, and I'm guessing that was the final quote,
Oh,
which,
And
I know why it's a little cheaper. They've taken something off of it to make it a little more feasible for the town. So they've lowered the price.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, but we're back to my initial thing about the approximately, you said you went from $50,000 to $80,000. Well, if it's $80,000 a year, in 10 years, that's $300,000 it's gonna cost the town in addition. We don't know what the final cost is here. No good business would enter into an agreement with not knowing these numbers.
the final cost is the 505.
Well, not necessarily, because you just said it could be anywhere from $50,000 to $80,000 payment per year.
That's
So
based on
this was the presentation to the planning board, which at the time it was a proposal, right? So the final quote and everything came in, and then that was what the number ended up being.
I think to rephrase it slightly, that the figure from the 50 to 85 depends on the declining balance of the amount that is financed, and would be in the same process as the declining balance on the for the pumper being replaced. That sound accurate?
Yes.
Yes.
I beg to differ. That is not what I heard Ryan say. What I heard Ryan say was that payment depended upon the amount that they decided to put down and the length of the term. It had nothing to do with anything else. It was the down payment and length of the term is what I heard him say.
Yeah, but
So if he said something else, then I didn't hear that.
Andy just said that the amount declined for the purchase of.
Yes, it declines, but the initial payment, and where it starts from, was the 50 to 80,000 that Ryan just talked about, and that was based on the amount they put down and the length of the term. That's what I heard Ryan say. That's what he said.
No,
I just wanna make sure that we all,
Sean, from your end, were you just looking at the conversation, or did you have a thought for?
I have a lot of thoughts, but the one for this sheet, I mean, just to kind of put it into perspective for everyone online, they might not have this information in front of them. We're discussing $1,052,000. It's not a couple bucks here and a couple bucks there. That's why I'm kind of, for lack of a better term, kind of being a hard ass. Like, I wish I got at least a day to look through this stuff and be able to. And I'm not even saying, like, we don't need another pumper truck. Like, I'm not even saying that that's a bad purchase. But, we really need, I feel a responsibility to everyone else in this town to really understand what we're putting our name down, what you guys are going to be signing your name to really understanding and making sure that it's the best thing for the town. I have nothing against you, obviously, Andy. We get along really well. But it's just like, it's very frustrating because, not to go in the past, but last year there was a situation where someone had a step plan where, in my opinion, one of the people on that step plan should not have been on it, right? And it was kind of pushed through, everyone voted on it, it went forward, and then later, can't cry over spilled milk, right? So now's the time to really nail down these numbers and figure out what are we gonna be buying.
And I think Chief Marique will definitely probably be here next Tuesday to answer any questions and
Like, I'm more than welcome to accept any sort of documentation, anything else after this meeting, but at where I sit right now and the information that I know, I can't vote for any, well, there's a few of these that I already knew about that I can vote for, but for the majority of these, I'm gonna have to say no.
Well, with that said, I'm gonna call the vote then.
Well, just one question. What we should be doing here, we should be looking at these leases. We should be getting this and see what's in that lease before we decide. I think a while back, when I was on the budget committee, we used to get anything. The trucks came in, the dimensions, everything about it. I have never seen it for a long time, and I think we should be looking at the leases and what's involved in those leases.
Right. I mean, if you want to I'm just making a suggestion, if you wanted to table Article 5 and vote on it next Tuesday, and I'll make sure you get all the information about everything you need this week.
Yes.
Yeah, as soon as possible, because it's gonna take a
Well,
while.
I'm not gonna table it, we got a motion in a second.
No, we're not gonna table it. You've already made the motion, we're going to go.
Yeah, we're gonna, then we can re-vote again next Tuesday if we're satisfied with what they
We can
supply
do
us.
that, we can do that.
But right now, there's a motion in a second to not recommend,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm calling the vote, I think we discussed this enough.
Okay.
Then, there is a motion to not recommend on Article 5, made by Stan, seconded by Sean, and then on the roll call. And discussion.
Yes is the, to not recommend.
Correct. Aye.
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 And I will vote aye. That,
So
Andy?
I trust that.
Andy vote.
Andy?
Well, I'm gonna vote no, but
Yeah,
Okay, so
that's okay.
that's 7-1.
And again, you also heard Stan say, I personally would have looked for the motion to be withdrawn and for it to be tabled with the clear signal going to the selectmen to please get the detail so we can do next week. I appreciate your thought for tabling. Keep that in mind if there is another issue coming up. Let me go on
6.
to Stan?
6.
Thank you. Article 6. This is again. This is fire department equipment and apparatus.
Capital reserve.
Capital reserve. As follows: to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $65,000 to be added to the Milton Fire Department Equipment and Apparatus Capital Reserve Fund, previously established for the purpose of funding future capital expenditures as described in the recommended 2018-2023 capital improvement program. This sum to come from the fund balance and no amount to be raised from taxation. It is recommended by the Board of Selectmen, I presume.
Twice going to this.
I presume that will be 3-0. I don't know how many.
yes.
How many you had? You were down to 2. I presume that you.
No, Monday night they.
You were at 3. Okay. And
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
yes, Stan.
What is the balance in that fund now?
I'm not quite sure. I know what it's gonna be used for, but I don't know the balance.
Okay, what's it gonna be used for?
Air packs.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
The air packs that go on their bags.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's like
But it's
earplugs.
a pre-established revolving account, correct? You're not setting up a new account, it's a pre-established one,
Yep,
Yeah.
all right? So there must be a fund balance of some type in there.
there is.
Nick is not here, I will, the air packs, I believe the department has a total of 14 air packs, and they have a, what I will call a go, no-go life expectancy. And it is prudent and careful to replace them before you find out that you're one day over their useful life and are no longer with us. That's just background. May I have a motion to,
There's $32,000 in that.
32,000?
thank you, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Okay, so my follow-up question is gonna be, what is the cost per air pack? And how many are we purchasing?
I don't know. I don't have an answer for you.
Should be in the minutes.
Because what I'm trying to see is the 32,000 that's in there now would cover that request. I know it's for other purposes too, but, you know. But Ryan, just so you know, I'm probably gonna ask about the next ones, if you have access to that, it'd be nice. The next money ones, you know.
I'm trying.
Thank you, Stan. Stan,
So,
thank you.
just for discussion, I mean,
Sean,
we're, you know, should we table this until next week? I mean, we're gonna have a question on every single one of these items. Maybe it'll help give some emphasis of what we're looking for, so we'll get that data before next week. Is
Problem
that,
is, you're gonna have to start well before 5:45.
I know.
And technically, we're gonna have to post that, because
Yep.
it's a legitimate, you know, but
uh,
I personally like to know how many we're buying, and if that's what the purpose of them is, and how much they are.
let's see what we
legitimate
can,
questions.
what we can work on. We're going to have,
Ryan has the information, he's just,
I can read, I have the PowerPoint that was presented to the planning board on this.
Making this way more complicated than it needs to be.
Well, I know, I guess, I mean, this is all new to me, my first year on the board, so,
Just so you know,
I'm a
normally
little
we have all-
confused, and this process seems to be a little repetitive,
As the
because,
school did, they had a representative here that answered all our questions, financial questions. You know, they had, well, I had the same questions for them, and they had the answers.
They actually had a chart in that
Yep.
handout with everything.
okay.
Lesson learned for next year.
Does, this is, just for one, does this help? There are, we have number, Article 15, which has just been voted on by the selectmen. We have Stan, who from last year, I think he wanted to bump it up, so that might go through without too much complaint. We have the bridge capital reserve, which is solid. We have the GIS system, which I will talk to from the planning board, if you want information about that. We have the Town of Milton Technology Fund, which should be simple. We have the Library Capital Reserve Fund, and municipal buildings. Do you wish to table Article 6?
I think so.
Hang on a second,
Yeah,
Aaron
okay.
might have some of the questions here. It looks to me, from this capital project request for equipment purchase for major rental, or major rental, excuse me. It says here $8,000 per unit, a total of $160,000.
there are currently 20 in service. A needs analysis will be conducted to determine if 25 are needed. NFPA requires one for every riding position on a firefighting vehicle, with 6 riding positions per modern vehicle. Utilized regularly, building fires, chimney fires, car fires, carbon monoxide incidents, fire alarms, activations, hazmat incidents, other unknown or toxic toxic environments. 8,000 per unit, includes 2 bottles and a mask. Cost for 20 is 160,000. Cost for 25 is 200,000. Assistance to firefighters grant applied 2016 and 2017, 5% match required. 10,000 at 200,000. Recommendations add 50,000 to the Capital Reserve Fund 2018-2019 to adjust contribution 2020 for final purchase price. Continue to apply for AFG, the grant and increase town's match. Consider lease 2019 or 2020. Consider funding Capital Reserve Fund or purchase from fund balance.
Okay, so you had some recommendation of $50,000, and that warrant ought to be of 65,000.
There's a large silence. Okay, what is the opinion of the board, of the committee? What do you wish to do? Peg.
Fill alarm. I don't know if I make a motion or whatever, but I liked what Stan said, is just, there are so many questions on all of these, and we're gonna be here until midnight without the questions being answered. If we could maybe meet next Tuesday, I mean, I have it on my calendar as Tuesday,
Right.
at 5 o'clock, I don't know, to review this, and that'll give them enough time to understand what the questions are that we have, and they can do the research.
The other thing I was going to say is, you saw the structure and the participation of the public that was here for the public hearing for the school district. I expect the participation and the time. I will get myself a glass of water to read the articles. And I think the format for the public hearing will be the same. I have no problem starting our own meeting at 5 o'clock if people can get here and want to, or at 5:30 or at 5:45 as we were going to meet for 15 minutes, open the public hearing, recess the public hearing, continue our discussion, bring the public hearing back into order, and to try to show people that the costs of modern fire protection breathing bottles for firemen will not go away. That they are a strong critical necessity for firefighter safety, and it's absolutely appropriate to have the clearest documentation to show the public. Does that sound right? So would there be a motion to table Article 6? Sean?
I think we make a motion to table 6, 7, 8, 9, because we're gonna have all the same problem.
Oh, okay, well, we'll do it very, very quickly. Motion from Stan to table Article 6, second by Aaron. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Motion to table Article 7.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Article 8, motion,
Yeah.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Article 9,
Yeah.
motion, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that brings us to a simpler world. And
So
that-
will we starting at 5 next Tuesday? What are we doing? We can resolve that, because you do a couple times out there.
I don't know who can be here at 5 p.m.
Is the meeting Tuesday or Wednesday first?
Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
Snow day, I believe, is Wednesday.
Okay, it's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Right.
I said Tuesday.
I thought somebody said
Snow
Wednesday.
day.
There was a snow
day.
date, Wednesday, yep.
Right,
From
but
sitting
it's
back
been,
here, I've heard Wednesday several times. That-
Yeah.
Yeah, so did I.
So
Show up Tuesday.
At what time?
No one's here come Wednesday too.
Maybe pushing my boss and understanding, we're being on public committees.
All right, so what time?
I can be here by
5:30?
maybe 5:35.
Okay, pressures of the real world, no problem. I say it on time, I appreciate it.
Larry will talk to your boss.
I'll talk to your boss, and if I can't get you, another 6 months.
Okay, so 5:30?
5:30, that would be Tuesday, and give me the date.
That's 7 days from today, for the 18th.
Try the 16th,
Not a motion.
Tuesday the 16th.
Tuesday the 16th.
What's today's date? Today's the
Today's Thursday.
Today's Thursday.
Yeah, so it's
That's right.
only 5 days.
Yeah, it's 5 days. I was thinking it was a Tuesday, I'm sorry, I'm wrong.
Oh my gosh, Stan.
The 16th. Everybody, it's on the agenda.
Yes, it is the 16th of January, next Tuesday.
All right. All right, let's go to 10.
Let's get the paperwork orderly. Summary. We have table from Article 6 through Article 9. We have agreed that the public hearing is still on for 6 p.m. We will have our special meeting, which will be noticed for 5:30, not 5:45. And as things go, we will recess the public hearing once it starts. Then, that brings us to Article 10, the Milton Free Public Library Capital Reserve Fund. And which I will read. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $31,000 to be placed in the Milton Free Public Library Capital Reserve Fund, previously established for the purpose of funding future capital expenditures, as described in the 2018-2023 Capital Improvement Program recommendations. This sum is to come from the fund balance, and no amount is to be raised from taxation. Majority vote required, recommended by the Board of Selectmen, I presume will be a vote of 3-0.
Yes.
And then we have a motion to recommend.
I have a question.
Sean.
What's the current fund balance?
Thank you.
I'm sorry?
The current fund balance for the Milton Free Public Library?
The current balance in that, in this particular article?
Yeah, Milton Free Public Library Capital Reserve Fund.
Well, you have a treasurer sitting right in the middle there. You probably could answer that. Larry?
No. Betsy is the brains of the outfit, and Pat for keeping track of the money in that fund. This has come in and gone out in terms of the three-phase restoration work, and complicated also by the monies that we have received from the LCHIP program, and I cannot give you an answer because I don't do that math.
That'd be handled by the trustees of the trust funds anyway.
Peg.
Yeah, I'm just looking at, I know that we tabled right through Article 9, but I'm in Article 10. First question is, what's the fund balance? I'm looking at Article 11, which is a previously established fund. How much is in that one? And the only ones that I'm looking at that are actually to establish would be 12, 13, 14 just as raised, and then 15 is totally different.
Okay.
So I'm thinking maybe.
Would you like to do one more table on Article 10, Ms. Hurd?
Yes, I make a recommendation or move that we.
Move.
that we table Article 10.
The chair will join you for the second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to table Article 10 so that the present fund balance can be supplied. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, then,
And I will make a motion to table number 11
second,
for the same reason.
and discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Article 12, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $8,000 for the purpose of establishing a geographic information system for the town as described in the 2018-2023 Capital Improvements Program recommendation. This sum is to come from the fund balance and no amount is to be raised by taxation. So this will be a brand new fund. The structure of the warrant is prescribed by RSA, by DRA and the RSAs, and this is a wonderful.
Wait, you said something about it be prescribed by RSAs?
Yeah, where you say where this sum is to come from the fund balance and no amount is to be raised by taxation. That's just.
Mm-hmm.
It is the boilerplate that is used for any of the articles. If I can speak to that geographic information system based on how it was presented by Bruce Woodruff, our town planner, from his experience in Milton Borough and Dover. It is a fantastic system. It is a series of electronic overlays of information which can present your sewer system, your water system, your electrical lines, your property lines. It can bring up individual properties, their location, construction, their relationship to a public water supply, to groundwater protection. Everything is there. It absolutely simplifies the work of the assessor. And it will also, down the road, simplify the work of the code enforcement officer and for people who come before the planning board as applicants. It will also have an impact, as we become a more developed community, on the DigSafe program, because the absolute location of sewer, water, other underground facilities will be part of the geographic information system. What the town is doing is buying into it on a first level. Let's get this program up and running. Right now, when we have an applicant, Dana goes by hand and pulls out the piece of paper and looks at it and sends out the abutters list by hand. The GIS system will have that information. You can take your cursor and you can draw any kind of outline around the property you want to include significant features. It is a fantastic system. May I make a motion to recommend?
You may.
Actually,
And
I have another question. If I remember correctly, some of the different areas of the town put $500 towards this program in each of their budgets. That's what's related to this, right? So I remember
some
it
of
was
the others, but I don't think, if I remember correctly to answer your question, I think I asked the question if they actually fit together, and
Mhm.
yours is different from mine and Joe's over there.
I think they all go.
Ryan?
Go ahead,
I
Ryan.
believe that additional money that you're talking about is used to buy different layers.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
So each group that has put money aside for this may use a different layer of this system, and each layer costs a
Yeah,
certain
no,
amount of money.
that makes a
So
lot of sense. I just want to know, because I know that we had discussed this before when we were going through the town budget. Do we know if the water commission's going to, or the water?
Actually, we have a disc without a water system on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Your explanation just now was fantastic, and I mean, I was there for the original presentation, but I'm looking at this going, I am a town voter. And what is a GIS? What?
Can I
No.
stop you for a
What
second?
does it
You
do?
remember, there's that pamphlet that goes out from the Board of Selectmen explaining everything on the ballot.
Do people actually read that?
Actually, I see people walk into the ballots with them in their hands.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so
Because I know what this is, but I'm
I'd like to
just,
see the school do the same thing, piggyback with the town on that.
okay.
Because I think that's the only way people are gonna know what this stuff really represents.
Like your
Okay.
wonderful oil tank.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no, I just wanted to make that comment, is that,
And Tom, down here.
How important does the town see the GIS as being?
Well, you heard one member of the choir right here. The town planner would be on board. Tim has been part of the planning board discussion. Ryan has sat in on the planning board discussion.
I asked because we've got roughly 200, and I forget what I ended up, $290,000 worth of stuff coming out of the unused fund
257.
balances. This is
257.
pretty close to the end.
And it's part of this one.
Yeah, and so I'm wondering, everybody's talked about how tight our budget is. Is there gonna be money for this?
That, well, this is the,
The warrant article's written, it's a little bit late now, but I see a lot of things in here that seem really important that are depending on us not spending all the money we budgeted. That's the way I see it.
whoops, I'm sorry, I don't,
yes.
you have to say that again.
All these things that come from, let's say, come from the fund balance and will not to be raised in taxation, my understanding is that the unused fund balance is what we have left over at the end of the year that we haven't spent.
No, no, no.
So where's the money come from?
That's school district.
So where does the unused, what, when
No,
it says,
he's actually right, Mr.
Yeah.
Chair. No,
this
this,
says unreserved fund balance, what is that then? Where's this money coming from? If that's not what's left over at the end of the year.
You're not,
If you're thinking about the fund balance, that is, for lack of better words, in the hands of the DRA, no, they can't touch that funds with this.
Yeah, I mean, I believe, and, you know, I'm seeing some things that look pretty important that we're depending on. If my understanding is right, which, you know, I've had breakfast since I last thought about this stuff, I may be wrong, but it seems to me that we got a lot of stuff that's pretty important depending on us having a budget that's roughly $290-some thousand over,
Mm-hmm.
having budgeted that much more than what we spend. If you add those things up, I think we've got
Yeah,
$290.
I got 257. Tom?
Well, I might have added 2018.
yeah, it's
Okay.
approximately around there.
That's my job, Tom.
249, I'm sorry, I don't by memory. My memory's good for sure.
An extra 8 gig. So I have a question too. So we know when we talk about the school budget, right, they go from top down, right? So they go, number one is before number two when they go to pay for it. Is that the same way with these warrant articles? Is that how the money's doled out?
I don't think so.
It's
It's
as-
however they voted on.
Gotcha.
Yeah, what do you mean it's however they're voting on?
Well, if they voted on to pass, then it passes. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah, if it doesn't pass, but then let's say Article 6, 7, 8, and 9 all got passed, but there's only $80,000 in the unused fund balance. That means that you could fund the first two. What happens to the other two?
Well, no, there's significant, there's enough money, of course, in the fund balance to take care of what we're asking for and then some. This is you know,
Totally
the
confused.
the CIP, this is how the CIP works, is to take money out of the fund balance to pay for.
And then how does the money get put back into the fund balance? Where does that come from?
From unused taxes.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I said, is that what this means then is that we budgeted $249,000 more, maybe a little less if there's money in the fund balance that we can still use to fund this.
do
That's what it sounds to me like.
Do you have to
My
have the-
my concern is that we've got things that seem very important, that if the fund balance runs low, aren't gonna get funded. That's my concern.
And do you have the fund, do you have the fund balance?
Yeah, it's 1.8 million,
What's it recommended?
8 to 900,000.
So that is the fund balance that I'm talking about. The town fund balance is usually between 7% and 8% or 3% to 4%, I forget which number. And that is the major cushion of reserve that functions differently than the balance left from the operation of the school district, which gets turned back to the general fund at the end of the school fiscal year, which is going to be approximately about $150,000.
Could be more than that.
More, at
That's
least
approximation.
150. So in effect, the money that the school district has been frugal in handling this year goes into the town's general fund balance and is used against projects like this. It is
The town is gonna turn back approximately, probably $500,000 this year.
No,
And if we're able to do that, we as the budget committee fail.
Yeah, if we get to about $500,000,
We
and you're
screwed up.
going up on the budget for 2018, this
Yeah,
doesn't make
if
sense
we've got-
to me.
Well,
If we would end up with $2.3 million in that fund balance, we as the budget committee screwed up.
I disagree. There are variables out there.
There's variables, Bob, but
Yeah.
it seems to me that a lot of taxation was overtaxation, if that's the case.
No, not necessarily.
If you
That's
remember
not-
some of the
that's
things that have
untrue
happened, like you were understaffed at the highway department because no money's going, no bookkeeper. Same thing with the town administrator. When
We were
nobody
down
comes
police-
in,
we were
money's
down
gonna be
police
collected.
officers this year.
Yeah, but like I said, I still, it seems to me that.
Well, I tell you what, we can
and-
cut
and-
right
I mean,
to the bone.
that's really notwithstanding. I just wanted to make sure that we've got these things that are important, that, come on, our firefighters need to have these masks. I wanted to make sure that the way these things are written, that the money is there to do that.
Plus, the no means no. If this doesn't get voted in, you can't even spend a dime on that purpose.
we are on number 12. We have had the discussion about the fund balance, where it stands. Comment has been made from Tom that if the fund balance is going up, there has been, for one reason or another, failure is too strong. Financial events have not been under the control of the town the way they wanted. We'll leave it at that.
But that's not what you said, Tom, right? You said failed.
And
So let's not sugarcoat, don't sugarcoat his words.
He feels that his board feels.
I feel it's my job as a budget committee member.
that,
Nobody else may feel that way. I feel that if we're returning back $500,000, I fail. I screwed up. Nobody else may feel that way.
Not on the 2017 budget, because we have no control over it at that point, but on the 2018 budget.
Yeah, if we can return that kind of money, it's, in my mind, I did not do my due diligence looking at the budget.
I agree with you.
where are we on Article 12?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion to approve, we have a second. Any further discussion, or has it been properly beaten about the head?
I'm just gonna say, I'll actually look at this, talking about how easy it will be to do some of the things that they're doing today as a cost savings in the long run.
Just one other thing, for whatever assessing system we have, it will also be to their benefit to have that information there. Okay,
One last question on that.
yes, Tom?
Stan, you said you've got the water district data where the pipes and everything are at. Will that information be able to be imported into the
Yeah.
GIS?
The way I understand it, yes.
Okay.
That,
Not that that's got any bearing on it, just.
Well, it does have a bearing because with dig safe and everything else, I think it has a
Yeah.
great bearing on it.
we are much better off than the city of New York, which had its sewer system and its water system and its electrical systems being built in 3 separate silos rather than on a common GIS basis. We're doing okay.
Well, I got that for him.
Onward. On the vote, all in favor from my left.
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
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 Yes. That would be 8-0. Thank you for your work on Article 12.
Article 13 is gonna be another same thing, how much money's in the account and so forth, same questions again.
That's a new account.
That's a new one, yeah.
No, that bridge account, that's established.
Mm-mm.
Two
We're
established.
to establish a capital
To
reserve
establish, yeah.
We already have a bridge account though, a bridge, fund.
Yeah, well, that one was for townhouse. We're pretty.
No, the one that's established now is to cover all the bridges in Milton.
That's what I thought.
I know for a fact that's what it is, to cover all the bridges in Milton. What's this one, this new one gonna cover then? We don't need to have duplication.
It's not what I was under the standing, but,
Well, I'll tell you
If my
what,
memory serves me right, I was under the understanding that
Need more info on
the
that?
fund that is already established, I believe, was just for New Hampshire and Maine bridges. If I'm remembering correctly.
Don't forget, the road money we get, you know, that one of the articles we voted on to get for the road money, that could be used on bridges, you know. Doesn't have to be used on hot top, and, you know, that can be used on bridges.
it was used on a culvert this year.
Right, well, there you go, so, I,
But, while it was used on that culvert, we're lacking paving too, and fixing our infrastructures, in other parts of
see,
town.
I would've thought you would've taken the, if that's the case, if you're correct, Ryan, and I think we're gonna get clarity on it, I would've come and, a language change on the other one, to cover all bridges, not duplicate. This is just clouding up the waters, having the second one.
as far as I'm concerned, Stan, that first one, that was what it was for. We have 5 bridges that cross state of Maine and New Hampshire. We have to cover all those.
Right.
That was what it was for.
But if they're saying that they can't fix a bridge, what other bridge do we have that doesn't go into,
I don't think it's saying we can't fix a bridge. I think the point of all these, and this is why the wording is in there, is recommended by the 2018-2023 Capital Improvements Program. It's a recommendation of the Capital Improvement Program, which is supposed to help us plan for
Okay,
future
but again,
issues and prepare ahead of time, so we
that's
don't
the
have to
purpose of the money.
raise a bunch of money
Right.
when we
That's
lose
the
a
purpose of the
bridge.
money, but the clarity of why these funds established or pre-existing, how many there is, has nothing to do with the CIP. The CIP has to do what money's raised and what it's gonna be spent on. The funds themselves have nothing to do with that. Why do we need to have 2 funds? Why does this say if there is a?
Because we don't, I think, we don't have a fund that can fix a bridge that's just in Milton.
Well,
that
change the language on the one we have.
Was intended for.
You can change the language, the voter can change it.
Gently.
I'm voting no on that, because you're just, duplication is not a good thing. Because then it gets real cloudy, and what one's for, and what's the other one's for, and what money's going where. People are gonna get all confused.
You know, somebody
Can we
said-
table that one
Yep.
for more information also?
That's just,
It would be nice to get some clarification.
Again, I think if that is the case, that this is restricted to its use, that you change the language of the use. Just like we've done in the past on other things.
Mhm.
The school's doing it right now for,
hang
motor
on,
vehicles.
folks. Hang on, folks. Article 5, if all else fails, read what we did. This is the 2016 annual report. Article 5, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $20,000 to be placed in the Milton, Maine Bridges Capital Reserve. This is a separate.
Right, but just change the language on that one, Larry.
There are 2 purposes.
Can you look at the,
It
can you
can be the same
continue to
purpose as a
read the
bridge.
purpose?
It's a
Or hand
bridge.
There,
As
may
it
I see that?
exists, there are 2 purposes.
I'd like to see that.
It's no different than the school with the pickup truck and the school buses.
Mhm.
It's the same thing. It's 2 different purposes, but it's one fund. You change the language on the existing the fund to include All bridges.
This actually doesn't mention what purpose it's for.
Well, it does in the initial, it says main,
It just says Milton Main Bridges Capital Reserve account.
right.
So
that
Milton
kinda-
or Maine?
Well,
We can do
you know, the ones that go into Maine, I would say they could argue that point, that it's just for that. But my thing is, change the existing one, don't establish a new one.
Or-
The critical difference
Actually give a purpose for the
is
current.
this is internal and this is between the two states.
Doesn't matter, Larry. If it's a bridge, it's a bridge.
So,
The bridge between Maine and Milton, New Hampshire, must be constructed with the agreement and participation of two states. It is a separate.
There's nothing in that warrant article that states anything that it must be. It's just the name of the capital reserve fund. I mean, you go to court with that, good luck.
I'd like to see clarity on that, because I think we're making another fund is not necessary.
I make a motion to table number 13.
Moved and seconded to table Article 13. Discussion, pretty much done. Vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Done. Article 14 has been already carefully crossed out. Article 15 was recommended by the Board of Selectmen at tonight's meeting, 3-0.
It's
actually And- Article and-
17.
And,
It's actually been changed to Article
and Article 14 now renumbered. Thank you, Erin. Renumbered. And our own recommendation is motion to recommend.
I'll make the motion or second, but for discussion, I got a question for the selectmen about that one.
Okay,
Okay,
did you make a motion? I'll second it.
Seconded. Discussion, back to Tom.
I thought, when, I forget what the gentleman's name was that came in to talk about the the eradication effort that had happened, I could have swore that he said they had only spent $2,000 or $3,000 out of the $10,000 that was allocated.
That's because they had grants
Yep.
from the states.
And I thought I heard him say that they didn't necessarily need any money this year.
No, actually, they don't anticipate any, I mean, they might get a grant, but it's gonna be for a lot less than they got last year. They are gonna actually need money this year.
But they got $7,000.
What's that?
They have 7,000 right now.
Right.
All right.
But he said that they could spend up to $30,000 this year on fighting the NIAID again.
I could have swore I heard him say. I have to review. Anyway, it's
38,000.
it's it's talking about a $4+ million budget, and $5,000 is not much, but I could have swore I heard him say that they didn't think they needed any more money allocated this year.
Yeah,
I'll review the tape.
they did, Tom, because that's why they came in and encumbered the money. That's exactly why they encumbered it, because they need it.
When they encumbered the money, was there any restrictions on the encumbrances?
No, I called the lawyer. There's a provision where they can.
No, as far as who designates what constitutes fighting the NIAID, how they use the funds, the $7,000?
No, I mean, it's in the, no.
Well,
It
that's
was,
that's kind of a gray area, don't you think? Because they could say, well, yeah, we consider this fighting the NIAID, and you may, or I may say, no, I don't think it's kind of fighting the NIAID at all.
well,
I'm not condemning their purpose. I'm just saying.
I think if TPPA was here, probably they'd take offense to.
Maybe take offense. I'm talking about good business.
I'm sure they're allotting the money and spending the money and allocating it for what it's used, what it was intended for.
Do we have receipts or something showing?
I'm sure they do. You could.
No,
you
but
could,
do we?
You could 91A the TPPA and get.
Don't you think, Andy, it would be good business
No.
just to have them though? No, but seriously, don't you think?
Stand, slow.
No, I mean, as a business person, that's the first thing I'd wanna see where the money's going.
Stan.
Stan, they've been in selectmen meetings and they've had presentations, and what they've spent and what they're gonna need.
So all I'm asking is, do we have proof that that's where it went?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Where?
Well, they've sent the town hall bills for the $2,000.
Yeah, but, well, I give up.
Okay. That,
I'm sorry I don't have the bills for the naiads in front of me.
What I'm saying, Andy, is, all I hear is, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. And it's not good business not to know. And you should be running this town like a business. You should know these things. You should.
Stan, relax.
Yeah, call the bookkeeper. I'm sorry I don't have the naiad bills in front of me.
The point is that NIAID is under the intense scrutiny of both the state of Maine, because it's a shared body of water, and the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services and Maine Environmental Conservation. It was first discovered at a 42-acre site up on the east side of the inlet of Salmon Falls. It has been under the budget expense and review of the state of Maine department, similar department in New Hampshire. The bills have gone through them through approved and vetted commercial diving suction of the 42-acre site. They have the documentation of how much has been removed. 26,000 gallons of NIAID went for dry land disposal through the courtesy of Mighty Joe Campground. We do not have the authority to conduct a dollar audit. I think it is not productive to attack the competencies and scientific credentials of the state of New Hampshire and the state of Maine working together to control the most, one of the more invasive pests that our economic engine of this lake has. As Tom pointed out for a previous topic, this is a small cost on the budget, and they do not expect for the next 10 years that this will be brought down to a zero population. And Steve Baker is the person who made the presentation. Wayne Sylvester is the other, and I'm sure that if you personally go and get the information that you're looking for, you will find it. I think it muddies the waters not to move forward on voting on Article 14.
So I take exception what you just said about attacking. It's not attacking when you're questioning something. There's a proverb when you work on a project: trust but verify. Stan is only asking to verify what we're being told. That's not attacking. That's being reasonable and prudent.
The level of discourse is not at a courteous and informative level.
I believe that's your opinion, though.
We go onward. I think it is time. We have a motion.
We had a motion and a second.
And a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor of recommending Article 14 as written?
Aye.
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 And the chair votes aye, and
Aye.
the town rep?
Thank you.
Aye. I think that,
Yes.
No, we have to go with that.
Oh.
I'm looking for,
How does Mrs. Fire Chief think of that? Our next item.
I'm sorry,
How does Mrs. Fire Chief think about Article 15?
I didn't know we had public comments.
Oh,
that,
What?
okay. I'll ask you afterwards then.
if,
We have no control over it anyway.
Well, I just want to know how to vote.
in that, next, that's, are we clear for what we are doing, for our next meeting? We have the public hearing, which is noticed. We have the special, planning board meeting, which will begin at 5:30, prior to that public, hearing. Do the selectmen, have any other comments?
No, Mr. Chair, and I want to apologize for not having the information, and I'll make sure that you folks get it in a timely fashion, hopefully maybe by tomorrow, everything you need.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. And if memory serves, the fire chief and police chief did make detailed presentations of their expectations for costs during earlier times before the budget committee. Did they not?
Mhm.
Yeah, but
I believe-
it is what it is.
I believe they did.
You know, I wanna work together here, and I'll just make sure you have the proper information.
I thank you for that. Things can be just a little slower in conversation. Yes, Tom?
I think most of the stuff was covered in the presentations that were given to the planning board, it sounded like. It might be just as easy, you know, if you get rid of, at least those of us that like the electronic stuff, if you just could send us the presentations electronically.
Yeah, Ryan, do you have, it sounds like you have it on your phone.
If you got them, that
The
would
PowerPoint
be just
or
as
whatever?
easy, I think, rather than.
Some.
Okay. Are you
I
allowed,
guess,
is it public information?
yeah, they were
Okay.
presented at the planning board.
Okay.
I guess I'm just a little confused on this whole process, because it seems like it's,
Mhm, thank you.
we're repeating stuff that we've gone through
Yep.
over and over and over again, and I honestly, no disrespect to anybody, but it doesn't seem like we're gaining anything.
And that's how it works. We present the information multiple times. We reviewed, I don't know how often we reviewed the school budget. And it just, and you're gonna present it all again. It's all gonna get presented again at the deliberative session. That's how it
I
works.
understand that, but I mean, to go through the entire, I mean, we're gonna go through the CIP over and over and over again?
The only way to not do it is to invite the budget committee to the CIP when it's reviewed there. Then we can ask our questions there.
Mr. Chairman, we got a copy of that CIP earlier this year, last year. I remember Britt sending copies out, and it was not electronically. I think I printed them out.
Yes, you did.
So,
I guess it got
you
lost.
guys have the.
Have they been changed? Do we know if they've ever been changed? Do we have any idea if they've been changed? Do we
And
have
we
any
don't know
idea
what
it's
the
been
fund
updated?
balances are in the
not
CIP, that has no fund balances on, there's still questions that haven't been addressed.
Well, before you go any further, those capital reserve funds, there should be a date when they were established.
That's true too.
And it's not in there either.
Right.
There's too many new people here, and I think that they don't understand the budget process. Remember, Larry, you told me to stop sending out the calendars because nothing was moving. When I sent it to the town administrator, I got a quick response. They do things different there, and we have new people. This whole thing has been one nightmare, and I put myself right into it because you let me do it, and I was trying to get everything done. I got good cooperation, but this has gotten so pure hell as far as I'm concerned this year. And
The school, was it?
the school has always been organized. Everything's there. Okay, but they know what they're doing. Okay? And while I'm on raving, I'm going to submit my resignation as of effective tonight. I'm done. I cannot go through this anymore. I've had it. I don't see it getting any better. I just can't do it no more. I'm just burned out.
Well, I can understand that. The same people do the same thing on all the boards and everything.
He gave me the latitude to do it because I feel I understand how the process works, and I was trying to push it through, and I got cooperation. It's just that there were times where I had to interrupt people on the weekend. And I'm just trying to feed information to the committee, and I think I failed in that myself. And Tom's comment about failing the budget committee member failed. I understand it more. There are variables that you cannot control, and that's why money comes back. We could get real tight. We can slice that budget right in half, but you're gonna hit some services. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
Bob, I mean, in response to you saying that you want to resign, I mean, you say one of the biggest concerns, gentlemen,
Sean?
I mean, one of the biggest concerns that you have is that we don't have a lot of experience, and there's a lot of new people. Well, you obviously have a lot of experience, and you leaving would not help
I'm sorry.
us, the town, or anyone else. But if you have to do it for yourself, I understand, because you get you really are passionate about this stuff, and I don't want you to get sick or you know.
It's not the committee. Unfortunately, we have new people in the town that don't know how this operates. You lost a lot of experience. You people have done well this year. This has been one heck of a board. It's been a good one. But you can't do what I need to get. You don't have it.
Look, Bob, we're just about done.
I'm done already.
You're gonna miss the last party of the year.
I can't do
The fun
it
part?
anymore. I just can't.
Well, how about the party?
What pie?
The end of the year party.
There,
Here's the pie.
I'll buy the first round, Bob.
Oh, you will?
I'll buy the first
I'll
round.
do the second round.
She'll do the second.
I'll do the
there,
first.
But that time I won't be walking.
That's okay, we'll get you home.
If you
I,
need some help.
I'm done.
everybody who decides to take an
Nobody
action
listens. That's one of the problems.
does it on their own. The chair has no authority to refuse a resignation. He has
Please, Larry, let's end it.
hate third person. I regret your decision. Everybody has the Lincoln story that's supposed to be wonderful. There is a good one for Richard Nixon, no disrespect. He was in high school and he was a member of the debating team. And he was deadly. And finally his high school teacher had to come to him and say, Dick, when you're in a debate, you stump the opponent. You don't drive them up the tree. Stan is a great tree driver. I respect that. I would like things to run a little slow. Is there?
Well, I'll testify that you like it real slow.
But, just slower. We have good people on all sides. Let's not forget that. And we're losing one of them. And
Make a motion to adjourn?
Seconded.
well, no debate. All in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the Board of Selectmen
Just
meeting.
remind him, it's gotta be in writing.
Don't we have to
Don't
accept
remind him
it?
till tomorrow, let him sleep on
Just
it.
saying, that's why I didn't tell him here.
Do we have to accept it?
You handle stuff the way you want, I'll handle stuff the way I want.
Oh my God.
Good times.
Or we still don't know?